Good evening. On the World News tonight from Babagbagede Imo Television, first the headlines. 2024 Appropriation Bill passes second reading. New wage begins April. FG vote 24 trillion naira for salaries. First Lady charges community leaders to join in enforcing fights against pandemic HIV. Nigeria's younger generation will never get power unless it's positively taken. Ogun will join oil-producing states soon. Dapo Abiodun. On sports, out-of-favor Super Eagles defender denies quitting international football. I am Molvire Rabila Lawal. The news shortly. The House of Representatives passed the 27.5 trillion naira 2024 budget for a second reading today. Leading the debate on the general principles of the budget, a member representing Koshofe Federal Constituency, Lagos State, Kafilat Ogbara, described the 2024 appropriation bill as a people-centric budget aimed at bettering the lives of Nigerians. At the resumed debate on Friday, members took turn to ask for an upward review of the budgetary allocation to education and health, among others. Making his contribution on the floor of the House, Obinna Jinja, a member of Labour Party representing Isiala, Ungwa, North and South, local federal constituency, Abia State, said, from what was presented by Mr. President, the education sector is not fully represented. Let us look at upgrading the allocation to education because we still have less than 26% of the UNESCO benchmark. Information also reported that at the second reading stage, the merits of the bill are debated and discussed. Once the motion has been moved and supported, the bill is debated by members of the chamber and thereafter put to a vote on whether it should proceed to the committee stage. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Idris Mohammed, who disclosed an information in an interview, said the current 30,000 naira minimum wage would expire at the end of March 2024. Mohammed said this on Thursday as an analysis of the 2024-2026 fiscal framework budget by our correspondent indicated that the federal government would spend 24.66 trillion naira on salaries in 2024, 2025 and 2026. Following the removal of the fuel subsidy by President Bola Tinubu on May 29, 2023, the federal government agreed to pay 35,000 naira to each of its workers to cushion the effect of the subsidy removal. But the organized labor insisted that the 35,000 naira wage award was a temporary measure, adding that the minimum wage should be reviewed in 2024. The federal government team and the Joint National Public Service Negotiating Council on October 18, 2019 agreed on the implementation of the 30,000 naira minimum wage after months of negotiations. However, labor unions on Thursday confirmed that they had started a negotiation process with the federal government, adding that based on the country's labor law, the minimum wage should be reviewed every 5 years. The Nigeria Labour Congress National President Joe Ajaero recently said it is open knowledge that the review of the national minimum wage is a matter of the law, which is expected to happen in the year 2024. The First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has charged community leaders to join hands in fighting and enforce the fight against HIV and AIDS in order to eradicate it from the African continent. This is contained in a statement by Mrs. Busola Kukoyi, the Senior Special Advisor to the First Lady on media on Friday in Zimbabwe. Mrs. Tinubu gave the advice during the commemoration of the 2023 World AIDS Day with the theme, Let Communities Lead. The First Lady said the epidemic can only be eradicated with the active involvement of leaders of various communities leading in the war against AIDS. The event was organized by the First Lady of Zimbabwe, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, ahead of the 22nd edition of the International Conference on AIDS and STI in Africa. The conference, which had participants from the United Nations and other sister agencies, speaks about the need to scale up advocacy and education about the epidemic. Mrs. Tinubu decried the recent statistics released by the Unites, which revealed that in 2022, there were about 1.5 million new infections on African continent, accounting to two-thirds of that figure. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has said Nigeria's younger generation should be positively disruptive to get power now. According to OBJ, leadership is very important both in the private sector and military, adding that the younger generation will never get power if they do not get it now. The youth should run for elections in Nigeria and must not say they are too young to run at 55, OBJ said. If you can't run, what time do you have to run? OBJ faulted critics who describe Nigeria as a geographical expression. My generation, I won't say it is a perfect generation, but we fought for the unity of Nigeria. Say whatever you like, we, including the military, which people say caused the problem Nigeria is facing, fought for the unity of Nigeria. We also laid the foundation of democracy in Nigeria. Generations after us, what will they claim? Between the generations, there is gap, space, and values to be bridged. That is why our gathering like this is important. Many people don't believe in Nigeria, and if you don't believe in Nigeria, why would you talk about something you don't believe in? The Ogun State Governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, yesterday said discussions are in top gear with the exploration of oil in Tongeji Island and Olokola in the Pokia and Ogun State waterside local government areas of the state respectively. The governor noted that the states would soon be given the frontier status and join the League of Oil Producing States in the country. Prince Abiodun stated these during the presentation of the year 2024 Appropriation Bill christened Budget of Sustained Growth and Development at the Ogun State House of Assembly. The governor said discussions are ongoing regarding the exploration of oil in the island, Ipokia local government area, and in Ogun West Side local government area respectively. We are confident that very soon we will begin to be given frontier status that will soon join the League of Oil Producing States in the country. Abiodun also disclosed that his administration, in preparation for its new status as an oil-producing state, has established the Ministry of Mineral Resources, saddled with the responsibility of overseeing the general administration and operation of the natural resources that abound in the state. He also disclosed that his administration has established the Ministry of Energy to take advantage of the constitutional amendment that allows sub-national government to participate in the energy sector. The Jigawa State Police Command has arrested over 53 suspected criminals, including kidnappers, armed robbers, illegal arms manufacturers, and human traffickers. The State Commissioner of Police, Ahmed Abdullahi, disclosed these during his maiden press briefing held at the police headquarters in Dutse, the state capital, yesterday. He revealed that 3 of the suspects were linked to the kidnapping of a businessman in the Kwaimawa village, Dutse local government area of the state. According to him, 10 of the suspects were armed robbers, 25 suspected thieves, 3 suspected vehicle thieves, and 3 suspected mobile phone thieves. The CP also disclosed the arrest of a suspected illegal arms manufacturer in the Dutse Kwari village area of Ringim LG, 2 suspected human traffickers, and 7 motorcycle thieves in Dutse, Megatari, and Kazauri LGs. The police operations have led to the recovery of 3 locally fabricated firearms, 4 motor vehicles, 3.6 million naira, 900 handsets, vandalized armored cable wires, 32 cows, 5 sheep, 261 wraps of dried leaves of Indian hemp, sesame, millet, and groundnut valued at about 450,000 naira, among other items. The police board emphasized the importance of collaboration between police and the public in maintaining peace and security in the state. Through hard work, professionalism, and partnership, crime and criminality will be reduced to the minimum in the state, Abdullahi said. Gunmen on Thursday night kidnapped the priest in charge of St. Michael's Catholic Church Parish in Umuekebi, autonomous community in the Isiala Umbano local government area of Imo State, Reverend Father Kingsley Eze, popularly known as Father Ichie. The priest and another man identified as Uchenna Newman, who drove the priest in the Volvo Jeep, were kidnapped at Orieme Junction around 8 p.m. on Thursday. The suspects were also said to have robbed shop owners at the junction before leaving the scene. A parishioner who spoke on condition of anonymity told correspondent that the church members were terrified by the abduction of the priest and the other person. It is true, our parish priest, Reverend Father Kingsley Eze, popularly known as Father Ichie, has been kidnapped. He was kidnapped alongside Mr. Uchenna Newman at Oriaime Junction on Thursday around 8 p.m. They came down from a Volvo Jeep to buy something at the junction before they were kidnapped. They also robbed businessmen at the junction. This is so unfortunate. We sincerely pray for the safe return of our parish priest and Mr. Uchenna. The Kogi State All Progressive Congress APC Governorship Campaign Council has accused the governorship candidate of the Social Democratic Party SDP, Murtala Yakubu Ajaka, and his supporters of masterminding the attack on the residence of the Resident Electoral Commissioner, REC, in the state in the early hours of Friday today. The Nation information report that armed men on Friday morning attacked the official residence of the Kogi Resident Electoral Commission, Ele Gabriel Longpet in Lokoja. The Director of Media and Publicity and spokesperson for the Campaign Council, Kingsley Fanwo, who spoke at a press briefing today, the same arsonist also had an attempt to burn down the Kogi State Government House, foiled by our Eagle Eye security agent. The same attempt was foiled at the State APC Secretariat in Lokoja. According to the APC, the SDP in the state and their collaborators are desperate to destroy some documents in INEC to cover the haste they committed in Kogi East, where they allegedly killed APC supporters and drove them out of collation centers to forge the result that were eventually trumped by the massive videos of Kogites for the governor-elect. The campaign council alleged that the SDP candidate and his collaborators were attempting to corrupt certain documents in INEC before handing them to their legal team. To the foreign story. Fighting resumed in Gaza Friday immediately after the expiry of a week-long truce between Israel and Hamas, with the first fatalities reported minutes later, according to health officials in the Palestinian territory. A live cam showed a heavy cloud of grey smoke rolling over northern Gaza and apparent sounds of automatic weapons fire and explosions within the first 90 minutes after the truce expired. Israel's military said fighter jets were currently striking Hamas targets in Gaza, and journalists reported airstrikes in the north and south of the territory. Marwa Al-Ams, the director of Al-Najjar Hospital in Rafah in southern Gaza, where many Palestinians fled after being told by Israel to leave the north of the territory, said strikers killed at least 9 people in the city, including 4 children. Elsewhere, 2 children were killed in the air raid on Gaza City, said Fadel Nan, a doctor with Al-Ali Hospital in the city. A source close to Hamas told the media that the group's armed wing had received the order to resume combat and to defend the Gaza Strip, with heavy fighting reported in parts of Gaza City. And to the last story, sports. As the senior national team of Nigeria gets set to take part in the Africa Cup of Nations, all eyes will be on the head coach, Joseph Pesaro, for the players that will make the squad to the tournament in Côte d'Ivoire. The under-fire coach has been given an extra option from one of the players. He has blanked in recent games for the team, leading to speculations that the player might have quit international football. That player is Rangers of Scotland defender Leon Balogun. His last involvement with the Super Eagles was in 2022, where he played the final 90 minutes of the 10-0 win over Sao Tome and Principe. Till date, it still remains the only time he has played under Pesaro, but he is now back to reckoning and in prime shape to bring succor to the Super Eagles defense at the tournament if picked by the coach. Balogun has last played for the entire duration of his team's last 3 games in the league, and they picked up 2 wins and a draw, a run of games that shows his full return to competitive games. Balogun hasn't quit international football, and I don't think he has any plans of doing that for now. Making the Super Eagles AFCON squad is their target for him, a source close to the 35-year-old speaks. With that sports story, we've come to the end of today's World News. Before we go, some headlines. 2024 Appropriation Bill passes second reading. New wage begins April. FG votes 24 trillion naira for salaries. First Lady charges community leaders to join in enforcing fight against HIV and AIDS. Nigeria's younger generation will never get power. Ogun will join all producing states soon. Dr. Dapo Abiodun. On sports, out of favor Super Eagles defender denies quitting international football. For update of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is Baba Bagidi Imo Television. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagidi Imo with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For advert placement of your goods and services, coverage of events and function, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen. Jumat Mufida, once again to all faithful Muslims all around the world, may it never be our last. As we begin the new month to end the year 2023, may we never remain the same. Have a wonderful time. I am Moriri Rabila Lawal.